In professional sports, we expect coaches to get fired when they lose. It's part of the game, but what happens when a coach gets fired for winning? That's exactly what happened to Christy Sides, the now former head coach of the Indiana Fever. On October 27, 2024, just weeks after leading one of the greatest turnarounds in WNBA history, she was unceremoniously shown the door. No scandal, no meltdown, no collapse, just results and then rejection. So why did the Fever fire a coach who ended a 7-year playoff drought and quadrupled the team's win total in just 2 seasons? This is the story the press releases won't tell you. It's a story about shifting power, front office chess moves, and a new superstar whose presence changed everything. Today, we're connecting the dots and exposing the truth behind one of the most puzzling firings in recent sports history. When Christy Sides took over the Indiana Fever in late 2022, she inherited a team in ruins. The franchise hadn't seen the playoffs since 2016. They were coming off a franchise worst 5-31 season. The media barely covered them. The fan base had lost hope, but Sides brought structure, accountability, and belief. That same offseason, the team secured the #1 overall pick and drafted Aaliyah Boston, a rising star out of South Carolina. It was the beginning of a new era. In her first season, Sides led the team to 13 wins, already more than double the previous year. And then came 2024, the Caitlin Clark era began, and suddenly the entire league was watching. With Clark running the show and Boston anchoring the paint, the Fever clawed their way to a 2020 record and a long-awaited playoff berth. The turnaround was complete, from 5 wins to the postseason in just 2 years, and then she was fired. The announcement came with a vague statement from Fever president Kelly Krauskopf talking about bold goals and the pursuit of a championship, but there was something off about the wording. It didn't criticize her. In fact, it praised her leadership, which begs the question, if she did her job, why was she out? The truth is simple. The goalposts moved. Improvement was no longer enough. Once Caitlin Clark walked through that door, the bar was raised. Suddenly, better wasn't the goal. Championship or bust was. And that's when the real story started to unfold. In early October 2024, about weeks before Sides was fired, the Fever quietly reshuffled their front office. Krauskopf and Amber Cox were brought in to lead the franchise, and in professional sports, there's a universal truth. When new leadership comes in, they bring their own people. The writing was on the wall. Sides wasn't fired because of one bad game. She was pushed out because she wasn't part of their plan, and the timeline proves it. Her replacement, Stephanie White, was hired just 5 days later. 5 days, that's not enough time for a full coaching search. It was already in motion. This wasn't a reaction. It was a premeditated move. As soon as the news broke, the fan base exploded. Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, all of them turned into battlegrounds. 2 sides emerged, both convinced they were right. Camp 1, Christy Sides, was the scapegoat. These fans saw her as a rising coach who brought real change to the franchise. They argued she deserved another year to grow with her young team. After all, she took them from the basement to the playoffs. But then there was Camp 2. She was in over her head. Critics pointed to the team's 1-8 start in 2024, her questionable rotations, and poor in-game decisions. They said the team succeeded despite her, not because of her. One user summed it up harshly: her adjustments just sucked. 2 completely different readings of the same situation, but both arguments revolved around the same unavoidable presence: Caitlin Clark. Her arrival didn't just boost the team's on-court performance, it transformed the Fever into a media circus. Every game was a national headline. Tickets sold out, ratings exploded. The Fever became the story of the WNBA, and with that came a new theory, one that took over fan forums and comment sections: the Kingmaker Theory. The idea, Clark was so valuable at financially, commercially, and competitively that the franchise would never risk alienating her. She became the most powerful figure in the organization, and if there was even a hint of tension between her and the coach was gone. Was there tension? Some fans believe they saw it. Disengaged timeouts, cold sideline exchanges, missed eye contact. clips were dissected like the Zapruder film. People were convinced the relationship was fractured. But here's where it gets complicated, because Christy Sides publicly praised Clark, even putting her in the same category as Steph Curry and Diana Taurasi. That's not a coach undermining a player, that's someone showing respect. So which is it? Were they at odds behind the scenes, or was the internet reading too much into body language and clipped interviews? Officially, Clark shut down the rumors when asked by Time magazine about her influence in Sides' firing. She laughed and said, "I'm not actually the general manager, but speculation doesn't die easily, and in the world of pro sports, perception often matters more than truth." Christy Sides stayed quiet for days. Then, out of nowhere, she broke her silence with a single post on X, formerly Twitter. Just 7 words. "Leave it better than you found it." No explanation, no follow-up, no press conference, just that. And yet, those 7 words said everything. On the surface, it's a classy farewell, a common coaching mantra, but dig deeper and it reads like a subtle clapback. She did leave it better, much better. A team stuck in the cellar was now fighting for playoff wins, and the message was clear. "I did my job. You moved the goalposts." Some saw it as a parting shot at the front office. Others saw it as a warning to whoever came next. Either way, she controlled her narrative on her terms. After her post, Sides disappeared from the spotlight. No interviews, no drama. But in June 2025, we got our answer. Christy Sides had joined the Canadian senior women's national team as an assistant coach. It wasn't a demotion, it was a reset. She traded the high-pressure chaos of the WNBA for a respected role on the international stage, one that values experience, development, and poise under pressure. And if anything, her new role proves she still has respect. In the basketball world, other organizations saw what Indiana didn't, a capable coach who'd been thrown into a whirlwind and held her own. So what really happened? Christy Sides wasn't fired for failure. She became a casualty of success, just not the kind of success the front office wanted. Once Clark arrived, the franchise hit fast forward. The rebuild was over. They wanted a title now, and Sides, despite everything she accomplished, wasn't the person they saw leading that sprint. It's ruthless, it's unfair, but it's also the business of pro sports. Sides will be fine. She's already writing her next chapter, but her story is a powerful reminder of how quickly the definition of success can change and how fast loyalty can vanish when the stakes get too high. Did the Fever make the right call by hitting the reset button, or did they fire the one coach who actually brought the team back to life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's start the conversation. And if you want more deep dives like this, the kind that go beyond the headlines, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more stories to tell, and we're just getting started.